Okay, so I have some Simcoat vinyl spray for the interior of the vehicle. I went ahead and sprayed one panel to see if I would like it or not. This is the old panels, and that's what they look like. Believe it or not, this is cleaned up with acetone, washed everything, and some of these stains just aren't coming off. So I've scuffed some of this up already, and I'm going to use a adhesive promoter for the plastic parts. The actual leather or real vinyl parts don't need any kind of promoter. It sticks to that very well. But that's going to be the color of the interior. Looks so much nicer. So that's what we're going to start doing right now. So I'm very impressed with this paint. It adhered very well to these panels, and it seems like it's gonna hold up very well. So for coming out of a can, vinyl spray, I think this is really nice. Very pleased with how it all turned out. All right, we're gonna wait for the panels to dry, so we're gonna do a few other things here. Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and install the grill. We ended up buying a new grill because the other one was busted, and all that is plastic. So we were able to find a grill that looked identical. Not quite OEM, but very similar. And you can see the Chevy emblem is not on there, so we actually have to epoxy that in place, which we do here, and it works great. And before we get started doing some more interior, we're gonna put some glass in the windows. I did reseal that vent window, and it took forever and was kind of a pain in the butt, but I got that resealed. So that's what we're doing here, just throwing a few seals in, throw some glass in here, and we'll move on to the flooring. All right, so we are about to put in the vinyl flooring for this truck. Auto Custom Carpets. So made in the USA, they make everything to order. So they gave us a piece of insulation, so we're gonna start off with that. So this is like a sound deadening closed cell foam. And this stuff also acts as an insulation, and it's got a sticky back. So I put that all against the bottom. I'm gonna put insulation on top of that. And then our vinyl is sitting out here in the sun, warming up just a little bit. The instructions say to do not put that in the sun because it'll actually take away some of the formed features of the floor of the truck. But it's actually a pretty chilly day today, so I'm just warming it up for 5 minutes or so just to make it somewhat pliable, because this is actually pretty stout. So we're gonna go ahead and start with putting the insulation in, and then I'll show you putting the vinyl in, and you gotta trim the edges off. Hopefully it all looks good when I'm done. All right, so you can see that it's slowly taking shape. And like I said, they already have kind of shaped this for you a little bit. And you just kind of got to work it into place. So I'm going to start working up the front end. I started in the back. I don't know if that would have been easy or not, but I could easily define some of their spots here. So it was just easier for me. You can also remove your seat belts, but I think these are going to require quite a bit of heat to get them out, and I've already tried, and so I just thought, I'll just leave them in there. All right, so I'm gonna finish this up. All right, so let me show you what everything looks like so far with the vinyl in. Unlock my door here. There's the vinyl. It laid pretty good for the most part. Got a little bit of hump here. You can see that. Now most of that's going to be underneath the seat, so it ain't no big deal. I went ahead and put some screws back here just to hold it down. But all in all, it's going to serve its purpose really well. So I got my trim molding on here. That was a little tight, just with as thick as everything is right in here. But I still got a hole here to cut in and a hole there. That's going to be to mount the seats and everything back in here. So the inside's coming along pretty good. The doors, all I have left is to put the trim or whatever this piece is called on. And things are looking good. The windows are super tight going up in there. Hopefully that stretches and gets a little bit easier over time. But yep, looking pretty good. So this is the first time I installed this dash, but quite honestly, I had to take it apart, put it back together, take it apart, put it back together, take it apart, put it back together. Every time I put it back together, I found out that, oh, I didn't wire something or I needed to add something back in there. So anyways, it is officially done as we speak and looks really good. All right, this is what the interior looks like after I've refurbished it, painted it, and got it installed here. So it doesn't look too bad. Refurbished this bezel. Got a radio coming still for down in here. Kind of put some gauges in here. Almost looks too clear over here. That's glass. This is plastic. Okay, this was a pretty satisfying process, being able to put new covers on all these cushions, and this is kind of reupholstering them. I got to use hog rings and hog ring pliers to be able to put all this together, and worked out really good. So our cushions were actually in pretty good shape, but if they weren't in good shape, you'd obviously have to repair that first and then put your covers on them. But these hog rings are hooks, and as you use the pliers to squeeze them together, it squeezes those cushions together and tightens up all the wrinkles. Worked out really good. Seats are a little bit darker than we wanted, but to be honest, it actually looked pretty good in there. So we're happy with it. And here in just a second, Courtney's gonna come over and help me install the seat. All right, we got all the seats in there now, and that was a pain in the butt because one of my bolts on the other side broke right off. So I had to drill it, and I ended up running a through bolt, grade 8, through there with some lock washers on it. So hopefully that'll hold up. Getting the seat belts through them little cutouts were kind of tough too, because I was never able to reattach or detach the seat belts from the floor. So cool. Everything's looking pretty good. Now I need to mount the coolant fluid overflow, and basically I want to turn down some locks out of brass, and as well as a new handle here. So there we go. Okay, so these are for the door locks, manual door locks. These go up and down on the door. The other side broke, so I want to make them the same, and I got all kinds of brass pieces. So I'm going to take this piece and turn down 2 of those and put them on there. And then I think to tie it all together, the handle for the manual transmission, I'm going to make that brass as well. So that one will be a little bit more challenging, but this should be pretty easy. Should go pretty quick. So essentially, I just got to turn it down to any kind of a shape that I want, and then drill a 10-24 tap through the center of it, and that's it. So I'm going to turn on a little time lapse here, and we'll see if we can turn this down into something. All right, here's the two pieces that I just made on the lathe. And like I said, these are for the door locks here. So just thread down in there. I'll just keep threading until it stops. There we go. All right, let me go put the other one on. Oh, I just locked myself out. There we go. Cool. Now, like I said, I'm going to try to make this on the lathe. I got a lot of brass over there I can play with. Brass turns so nice too. So it's like, it's real easy to mess with it. All right, so we're back over here, going to be using the machine shop today. So basically what the plan is I want to be turning this out of brass. Now, turning contours on a manual lathe, I know is going to be very difficult, and with my lack of expertise, I'm probably going to struggle with this. So, you know, we'll see how it turns out, but as of right now, this one I kind of got all marred up. They're kind of expensive to buy another one. I got a ton of brass, so brass is easy to turn. So I'm just going to turn down some brass. Maybe I'm going to try to mimic this. So I do have a ball turner, so maybe as I get, as I basically mill this down, I'm going to have the ball turner on here to turn the contour. But one thing I want to do is just kind of get all this smoothed up and create something that I can put in the chuck on this side, because we do need to drill and tap on the other side of this. So that's kind of the first thing I'm going to do. So. All right, I got it done. Didn't turn out too bad. I flattened off the top because I wouldn't mind trying to put the shifting pattern on there. So I'm gonna see what I got to be able to do that. Otherwise, there's my new shifter. It's a little bit smaller than the other one. After I cut through the grooves of the brass, realized that, but that's okay. Put a little bit of knurling on it just because I think that looks cool. But there you have it. I think that looks pretty cool. A little heavy. Hopefully that didn't cause any issues on the shifter, but if it does, I'll see if I can somehow remove a little bit more material. All right, officially done. I just got a punch. Essentially, I got a punch set from her grandpa. Put those in there, and then I spray painted it and then basically wiped it off just so it would sit down in those grooves. So there you have it. Hard to get those punches really straight, but I feel like I did pretty good there. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick it in the truck and call that good.